I want to do some of the freaky stuff this year.
Freaky stuff.
Freaky stuff.
In what context? And I wasn't keeping an eye on all the little things, and the little things are what adds up in your business.
Every day steps towards the end goal.
So that I can sit within that balance of, you know, being able to be a mum, being able to be a salon owner, be able to be a friend, and all of the things.
Do you think that you'll be able to find a point where you're restful wearing all those hats?
I did all the steps she told me to do because I think that that's going to be fun at the time. And then I needed a nap. I was so overwhelmed.
Whereas we know, even with your human design, if you force yourself to do anything, it's not going to be good.
More so really getting market intel from my people. Like, is this good? Do you like it? Should I get it? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
How should I do it? Tell me all the things.
And I got in the car and I looked in front of me and I got in the back seat of my car. Like, who does that?
When you're really tuned into the numbers,
Yeah.
it helps you look across and you're like, oh, should I be spending money on that? But also it's the beginning of the new year.
We went on a journey. I didn't really know where it was going. It got freaky. But yeah, Happy New Year. Hey lovers, just a quick one. If you listen to us and you love us, could you please hit that subscribe button? I know it's a pain, but that little button means the world to us and our podcast, and means that we can get more great guests on like we know you guys love listening to. So do a girl a favor, hit subscribe, and we would be so grateful. Welcome back to the Inner Sanctum, Salon Rising, the podcast, the episode about fucking holidays.
Mate, I decided that this year would be the year I didn't swear as much on the podcast.
Oh, really? Well, you could have told me that before I said it.
No, you said it, so it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
In saying that, I swore on the last podcast, I caught myself doing it.
That's interesting. Is that one of your things for the year, is it?
I want to swear less. No, it
Oh,
sounds
I
so
like
much
that.
like a pirate. I only just declared that right now, but yes.
Right now.
Yeah,
right
right.
this second? It wasn't on any of your stuff
Nope.
that you've been doing?
Right now.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about today?
I guess I'd love to cruise into obviously the new year.
Yeah.
But I think that it's been an interesting step into the new year for me, and I wanted to know if anyone else felt the same way as well.
Oh, do tell.
Normally I feel very refreshed after my break.
Yes.
I did not, but I do have substantially more children these days.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Do you think that's the only reason why you
I
don't feel
know.
refreshed?
I just feel like Christmas was hectic this year. Like, not Christmas Day was crazy as hell, but like the lead up was really busy.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, so we finished work on the 20th, we had an amazing Christmas in La Sorella. It was one of the best Christmases we've ever had. Just how it felt, everyone, wasn't hectic. We still, did what we needed to do financially, but we were just we really enjoyed each other's company, and we picked up an extra day, but no one felt overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then come the end of the week, we ended up going out and having
So
dinner.
it's not like you went into the break
No.
like, oh my gosh, I am shattered and
No,
exhausted.
but I think I set up expectations for it to feel a different way, and then when it hasn't felt as restful as I needed it, coming back into the new year, you're like, and here we go again. Like, it just felt like it didn't have that, but I didn't go away this year either, and maybe that was it.
So, okay, so you think that's what it is. It's what makes something feel restful for you?
Look, I probably went into I switched off from work, but I went into the decluttering mode at home.
Yeah.
I struggle to switch off completely, and I did that yesterday actually. I laid around. It's probably why I'm so tired today. But I definitely didn't, switch off and do nothing and was at the creek. I think I really definitely do need to leave my house so that I'm not doing washing, doing the dishes, cleaning the garage, things like that. I think normally I go away. In the years past, I've gone away in the van and stuff and actually just had that complete break.
Yeah.
But I think, the end of 2024 for me ramped up in the list of responsibilities I needed to do. I took back over
Yeah.
the management position of La Sorella. I took back over the receptionist position of La Sorella. So my team is smaller and so mighty, but there's many more hats I need to do
Yeah. Okay.
now than what I used to.
Do you think that you'll be able to find a point where you're restful wearing all those hats? Do you think there's steps that you can put in place, or do you think you need help?
I don't know. I think at the moment, like I say to everybody, sometimes we need to pull it all back
Mm-hmm.
before we give it back out again.
Yeah.
And so for at least a little while, 3 or 6 months, I just want my hands over everything because I'm in this very big stage of having that control because I let the control go too much. And I
Okay.
think that, it was a detriment to the business in the way that there was too big a spend on certain things and I
Yeah,
wasn't
okay.
keeping an eye on all the little things, and the little things are what adds up in your business.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely focused on, still focusing on what we make, but also focusing on what we spend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm at. And then obviously beginning of the new year, your mind is definitely set to what do I want for this year, what do I want it to look like. And then also developing all the resources for Salon Rising that go with that.
Yeah.
I want to do all of that so that our humans that work with us don't have to worry about that side of it.
Yeah.
So it just makes everything busier because I get in my head and then I'm just like, go, develop this, do this, move that, do this, do that, try and develop that. But it's all about also in the beginning of the year, you move through different stuff, and I'm very I'm definitely more switched into now trying to get it implemented in my life before. I've always been like that with the businesses.
Yeah, you always have. You do before you put it out to everyone.
Absolutely. So
that's why we have to do so many spreadsheets.
Yeah. That's why we have to do so many spreadsheets. So I know when something's ready to go straight away, that it's simple and quick and it can go, like that it'll work for anyone. But there's other things that I really need to take my time and really implement first. So we've gone through a big growth stage with that and what that looks like. And I'm excited because, now that it's a lot of that work is done, we can just implement instead.
Yep.
And I feel like it's going to be a game changer
Yeah.
for what life looks like financially for 2025.
For your family, for your business, for everything.
Both.
Awesome.
For everything.
So how are you managing that and staying accountable to it without telling everyone what you're developing?
Look, there's a lot of checkpoints, but also, everyone sees me talk. If you are on our Instagram page, everyone will see generally on a Monday, you'll always see the same type of post from me.
Yeah.
It's Monday, it's Monday, it's Monday, it's Monday. Because of what I found over time, I used to be very fluid with how I did my work. Very fluid. It depend on the day, depend on the season, how I would do things. But the more that I've implemented that Monday routine of what gets done for the business, for my personal life, how I run through that, the easier it has become to navigate the rest of my life throughout that week.
Yeah.
So I've actually started developing something again this morning on that of, another resource that we give the people that work within our worlds, because, I do have so many people be like, okay, so what do I actually do on the day that I need to do the business?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need a whole day for business, but what do I do?
What do I do on that day?
And I don't need a day. I know depending on what I've got on that Monday, what that looks like for me.
Yeah.
So today I got up and exercised and got ready, and then I had like an hour. So I sat down and started to do some of that stuff, but I know I'll go home and do more today.
Yeah.
But I'm also just so switched into the fact that, and I always say I don't want to put this umbrella over our entire industry, but so many hairdressers have ADHD. So many business owners.
I think that is a absolutely accurate umbrella.
Yeah.
I would genuinely, because I like to hyperfocus because I have ADHD,
Yeah.
would like to know what the statistics are on that and may find them for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't not I'm Jen's diagnosed, I'm not diagnosed. If you're not diagnosed, there's a good chance you're undiagnosed like me.
Yeah. I saw this hoodie that I was going to get for you. It's like undiagnosed, but everyone's pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm 100% sure. And look, my daughter is diagnosed, so it's just, so for me, it's trying to develop those patterns that don't make me go too far one way and not too far the other, so that I can sit within that balance of, being able to be a mum, being able to be a salon owner, be able to be a friend and all of the things, because depending on where I'm at, my mind gets so busy that sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now. And I will do something and hyper-focus on something. But whether that's where I need to be or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
And now that I'm back on the floor, I've got to be really regimented on the days that I'm not.
Yeah.
When I have that time, because when I'm on the floor, I can't do that because I need to be on floor and present with my clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this thing this morning actually, that was talking about it's really common in neurologically diverse friendship groups. I think it was called, now this could come out really wrong and people are going to be like, she's talking about a sex thing. Like, I'm sure it was called dipping, okay? I'm sure that's what it was called, or tipping was something like that. But and I'm like, what is this that they're talking about? And then when she explained it, it's like, oh. So it talks about how busy the mind is and that you do think of people. You're constantly thinking of your friends and your family and the people that you love, but you get so busy in your head that you forget to articulate or say that or call them or think. And so it's really common.
I think of you guys all of the time.
So it's really common, but hear what it is, to send just like a meme or a photo. And I just laughed out loud. It's like, just so that they know that you're thinking of them. And it's like, wow, that's like having a mirror held up in front of my face.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, finally, you're like, I have to send that text message, but the text message isn't well articulated. It's just like, hey, catch up. Like, because you're just like, sometimes I have to say that to Rich. Like, I always mean to put my please and thank yous in, but a lot of the time it's just like,
get the information out now.
Get it out. Otherwise it's not coming to you, and then at which point that's worse.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like, I always get to this time of the year and it's like vision board time.
Yep.
I'm moving a little differently. I'm not doing vision board this year. I'm doing vision bingo.
And that's also really important for neurologically diverse brains, to not necessarily always do the same thing, because you won't get the same result even if you got a great result last time, because your brain's therefore not getting that same big dopamine hit from it that it got the last time you did it. So you need to always reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. And it just didn't feel last year when I did my vision board, I was just in such a vision board head. Like I was just like, so when I developed it, it was truly bringing and I 100% got everything I pretty much wanted. And it was so because all of my emotion was in it. If you made me do a vision board right now, I think I would be it would be forced.
Yeah.
That's me forcing myself to do a vision board, right? Like, because I'm like, I know it works, so force myself to do it.
Whereas we know, even with your human design, if you force yourself to do anything, it's not going to be good.
No. So it was funny because I was watching this chick on TikTok and she was like, do your ChatGPT 2025 live and blah, blah, blah. So I did everything. So I sat for an afternoon. It's probably why I had no time. Sat for an afternoon. I did it all. I wrote it all down. I did all the things. I printed it all out. And I then closed my computer because I was so exhausted by the information. I was like, yeah, nope. And I closed it and I just moved forward. I've never looked at it again. It'll be interesting to see
when you look back.
When I look back in 12 months' time, whether it actually came to life. But I was so overwhelmed by the ChatGPT information and how you should put in things in place, and it's not how my brain works. That by the end of it, I was like,
"Why did you do that?"
Just
write it down.
It sounded fun. I wrote myself a letter. ChatGPT wrote me a letter. I don't know what it came with, but like I did all the steps she told me to do because I think that that's going to be fun at the time. And then I needed a nap. I was so overwhelmed. But I did see on TikTok the bingo. So I was like, I really like the idea of knowing what that feels like for me.
Yeah.
So I still went through the same kind of thought process of what do I want family to feel like? What do I want life to feel like? What do I want business to feel like? What do I want this to feel like?
Yeah.
And then I created my bingo card and left some space for things that I know will come up over the next 12 months that I want. But then I just kept developing. So there's a team one, there's a business one, there's a life one, and then I created a learnings one because
Oh, I like that.
there's a few things I want to learn this year. And if I don't know where to look each month of where I want my focus to be,
Yep.
then I struggle. So then around that, I created a massive accountability tracker, which is my focus for 2025 for Salon Rising is that massive accountability piece. So I really want to move people to what they need to be accountable for as well. So I created this massive accountability tracker and it may get overwhelming for me in 3 days and then I never touch it again. But I'm hoping that it just helps me keep on the straight and narrow. But another cool thing, which who knows by the time this podcast comes out where we're at, but my whole team has decided to do a challenge.
The 75.
The 75 hard is where it was pulled from originally. But
we talked about this at the beginning of last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily the 75 hard rules. So there's rules that go with 75 hard, medium, soft, whatever it is.
Okay.
But we've just created 75 days of habit for La Sorella.
Okay.
All of us are doing bar one. Shout out to Laura. Love you. Laura's not doing it. She's our coach. We're all doing it. So it started because one of the girls' partners, there was like a huge incentive for him to do it with work.
Yeah.
And he could win a great prize. So she was like,
Did his work tell them, were they given what they had to do for that 75 days or did they get to choose what they were focusing on?
I'm not sure. I think it's just like, it's like a fitness weight loss thing. I think they could choose to do whatever they wanted. Yeah, I think that's the case. They could choose to do it however they wanted it to do it, but it's just all about getting fit and healthy for the new year.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, so Court was like, he's doing it, so I'm going to do it with him because you need the support.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
you're going to do it. I'm going to do it with you.
And then all the girls were like, we'll all do it.
And Laura's like, no way.
Laura's like, nah. And then now my partner, he's doing it because I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So then so it's just kind of like evolved. So we've got certain rules, like certain amount of workouts, steps, diet. Uber Eats is going to go broke because La Sorella is not going to be eating from it every day, several times a day. And then I've also added things in there for them. So I wanted it to be full focus. So I also added some gratitude, some mindset, and then some work targets and goals and stuff as well. So
I like that. So it's a really well-rounded.
Yeah. And I've created them all a tracker so that they'll get it. They get it tomorrow. So it'll be printed out and they'll get it. So yeah, when this podcast goes out, it'll go out like halfway through Feb. We'll see check in, see what day I'm on. But I'm definitely quiet in it right now. And I know that something sticks better when I'm staying quiet. So even today, like you and Rich had to poke me on something that I was like, okay, this is the reason why. Because when I'm too loud with what I'm doing, it lasts a day and then I'm just like, I feel like an idiot. So everything that I'm doing at the moment is just quietly researching it and testing it to see if it works for me and how my brain works and how it works for the business.
Yep.
And then implementing it further. But yeah, definitely the tracker side of things. I did it before I came here financially. The cool thing about how we're doing the tracking for the business and how we do the budgeting for the businesses with Salon Rising is it's not tracking it based off estimates or based off what you think it should be. It's all tracking based off your numbers.
What they actually are.
So, and there's so much, I've just done this with one of my clients and she's just like, just doing this has woken me up to so much. Like I cannot tell you how much it's woken me up to.
And it doesn't matter how many times you've done it. Like how many times have you done it? And every year when you do it, it's like, oh, yeah. There's always something else that you're waking up to. There's always something else and you're like, it's interesting.
So now I'm doing it weekly. I want weekly wake up calls. So for example, we Lee and I were like, we're going to do a no spend for the first sort of 3 months
Yeah.
of this year. Very minimal spend. We gave each other a budget. But then, interesting enough, oh, look, we didn't go that much above because we all have a budget. Me, the kids, and Lee have a budget.
Yeah.
But when I wrote the numbers down, we spent $250 on takeout.
Yeah.
And we all have a $40 budget. So we actually only really spent an extra $110 or something. But it was because last week we were so tuned into it and this week we were a little bit off tuned to it. And one of the nights I was just so exhausted that I was like, we're ordering pizza.
Yeah.
And it was so fine because everyone ate it and enjoyed it. And we ate all of the pizzas and it wasn't a waste. And I was like, I'm really glad we did that. And one of the times we took our eldest daughter out for breakfast, but the three of us, breakfast,
Yeah.
$95.
Yeah. It's quite different.
By the time, like, it's just not, it's expensive. Like, by the time we went to an expensive place, but they both had fancier drinks. Then we only really got 2 breakfasts, but then we got treats. It just like adds up. And then I was just like, it was such a nice morning, so I don't take it back that we did it. But it's so, when you tune into come the end of the week, you spent $250 on that. You're like,
yeah.
I wouldn't take that away. But then last night, because we got home from church late, we just drive through Macca's and there's another $40 because everyone was hungry.
I thought you had dinner at church.
We do, but last night the kids didn't feel like it was enough. And all afternoon yesterday we said, we should do dinner, we should do dinner. And then it just blew out and we just left. We'll get dinner on the way home. So it's those conscious thoughts of being like, because I wasn't planned enough and because I was like, YOLO, who cares? That's how it blew out. And then I wasn't focusing on our health or our finances. So it's just things like that, I guess. And, it's very easy to do it for a week, but what you actually need to track is for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like you need to see 3 months.
Consistent,
yeah,
everyday steps towards the end goal.
Yeah. So my accountability tracker now does.
My neck is sore. I'm listening to you. I just got to turn the other way.
My accountability tracker, just move your body.
I'm in a bit of a state. I'm a bit sore at the moment and I had to have a big acupuncture and cupping session before I came. And so I'm finding it hard to sit in the chair.
It's fun. So yeah, I'm tracking all of those things personally, but also tracking all of those things professionally. So I know exactly to the dollar how much Lacerella cost me last week.
Yeah, that's great.
And just a lot more. We've always talked about putting your tax and super away.
Yep.
But this year I'm a lot more focused on all of the areas rather than tax and super.
Yep.
So looking again based off our budget sheets on what you spend, I'm looking at, certain things with our stock and how I can keep that down because I'm really tuned into what I'm spending.
Yeah.
Which means on the other side of that, it also makes you really tuned into how you can remove things that are sitting there or things that are, like that you're spending on. And the first of the year so I've removed a lot from the business.
Yep.
Just because I'm like, it's not serving me.
When you say you've removed a lot, what do you mean?
I'll go into that next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Bridget's probably going to ring me and say, what do you mean when you say that? Just
Hey,
call me
Bridge.
Bridge. Just different systems that I'm paying for that I don't like.
Okay.
But I've got, and you just think you need more and more and more.
I thought you were talking about like physical removed stuff.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm like, what did you take away? Are those lights new?
No, Jen, they've been there for 3.5 years. So just looking at the ways I'm doing things, but when you're really tuned into the numbers, it helps you look across and you're like, oh, should I be spending money on that? But also it's the beginning of the new year, so new price lists.
Yeah.
Going through all of those things.
I've still got to do that, go in and change all the pricing for everything.
Yeah. You can do it from home. Oh, no. I can do it from home on Katoomba. You can do it from home on Katoomba, which is amazing.
I can do it from home.
Okay. So it means over the weekend I was able to do it, which was good. But it's just all of those little bits and pieces as well.
Yeah.
So just making sure that all of that's handled. What are you spending money on? Is it still worth it? What are you going to have to spend money on this year? What's in the budget? And then also putting stuff aside, like work cover for me comes in September. but it's $5,000.
Yeah.
So instead I've just started to put $100 away a week
Yeah.
into that holding account so that come September, it's not like, here's
yeah, I've
another
got
amount.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just starting, even though there's money sitting there to pay it, I want to change my mindset around my business account being my profitable account and then having a holding account for my bills.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So even now with stock, I transfer the money for the stock the day I order.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have to pay for it for 60 days, what I see people do is get in a trap of doing all the ordering and then it arrives and they use it all and then it comes to time they have to pay it and they're like, it's $4,000, $5,000. Where is that coming from? So so you become really unconscious on what you're spending because you don't have to take it out of your pocket that day.
Yeah.
I tell you what though, if you do it a different way, and even if you want to still have it there just in case you need that buffer, pay for it on that day, transfer it into a holding account. You won't spend $5,000 because you don't have the $5,000 to spend.
Yeah.
You'll spend 2.5 and you'll make more intelligent decisions on what you need because you're like, I don't want to spend any more than that. You know, creating budgets of knowing each month, each week, each month, each quarter what you can spend on stock allows you to reduce it because you're not going, I'm not aware. I'm heads out of the clouds. You actually start to make really conscious choices of I don't want that. I don't want that. And I did it this week. So I did an order on product this week and I didn't do it. My rep did it for me. And then I opened it and I was like, I don't want like 6 of these things because I know consciously they're not going to move. They're just going to sit on the shelf. And I was like, I don't want them sitting on the shelf. The point for me this year is to not have it just sitting on the shelf. I want to move through things so that, you know, it's not just a wasted thing sitting on the shelf. And I think retail can be like that unless you are constantly moving product. It is just something that you can sit on your shelf. It's behind me. I can do the same thing. There's certain products that will sit on the shelf or we have loads of. So I want to get down to more minimal so that, you know, no, we don't run out of the things that we love, but we're also not having a massive amount sitting on our shelves either.
Yes, that's very sensible.
Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of a holding account. Like I've always done that for us personally. We've always had a holding account for all bills and stuff, mostly because I had to. Otherwise, I wasn't going to be able to pay them if someone had accidentally taken money out thinking that there was money to spend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you want to share that you're working towards this year?
To learn my kutumba better. That's one of my learnings.
Yep.
Because I definitely feel like I don't use it to its full capacity because I don't allow the space for it because other things come up. The no spend. The no spend is a 12-month thing. It was a 12-month thing on TikTok, so you know it's
Are you literally going to try and go 12 months without spending?
Yeah, kind of.
So talk me through that. So what are you allowed to spend money on? Obviously like food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're not allowed to buy like
Sabi.
Oh, no more sabi for you, girlfriend.
Thank God I've just got fresh ones. But no, I'm not allowed to spend money on I'm a very like I need it so I'll buy it. I'm not allowed to spend money on things like that. Like I can't just be like, I love it. That's so cool. Buy it. And definitely so funny enough, at the beginning of the year when I decided to do this, there was a situation where someone's like, I bought this, you should buy it. And I did. I'm not going to say what it was. And I did. And I haven't used it. And it was only like $60.
Really?
But I'm like, it didn't align to where I was at.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right thing for me. But I did it because everyone else was doing it and I wanted to do it too.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So it made me so, whereas in the past I would just been like, oh, well, whereas it's like now I'm just annoyed. The other thing is I hate is we have so many kids. So like we do big grocery shops, but I just don't feel like that's actually a good idea anymore because like the other day we threw out $50 worth of meat.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Because
that's terrible.
The lamb that we had bought, even though it wasn't off for another 2 days, looked green. So we threw it. And then I had bought chicken and we forgot to put it in the freezer. And I was just like,
no,
we can't have fridge stock with food. We actually just need to do little orders of like $100, $150.
Yeah.
every couple of days rather than doing this like $300-$400 shop, because we also don't eat like that. We're not the people that like go, this is exactly what's for dinner tonight. We don't eat like that. Costco's been awesome. We've done big meat orders at Costco because the meat's so great and put it in our freezer.
Yeah.
But it's like fresh fruit and stuff you need to do every couple of days rather
Yeah,
than
you do.
doing a big order, you know, because when we have our boys, they eat more. But when we just have our girls, they don't eat as much. So, yeah, it's reconfiguring how I do things so that we're not as wasteful, which I always get to at the beginning of this year. So I just want to stick to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was a learning. That's like a home one. What other categories are you sort of?
Okay, so I've got a team one, our team 175 hard to begin with, and
Yeah.
we're also doing a cruise this year.
Yep.
So there's more stuff on that one. One of my learning ones is there's a few learning. I want to learn how to invest.
Yep.
I can't remember what else is on there. Invest, more social media stuff. When it comes to the business, sorry, I went and got my laptop so I could actually see what I've got on here. So I want to learn how to do the nanoplasty that you do.
Oh yeah.
That's actually one of my first ones because I think it'll be a great addition to our salon. But funny enough, I race into things, and I feel like there is a couple of things that I raced into the end of last year that I'm looking at specifically. And it wasn't the right call for the salon, but you just think, oh, I need that. You know, it's a thing I should get. I'll need it. I'll get it. And I think that's what I can do and what we can do as business owners really quick. We need it. Let's get it. And then it costs you all this money. So I've definitely been like, you know, it's something that I've wanted to do, but I'm pretty much just my best friend's been doing it. She loves it and it's a great thing. So why not? You know what I mean? So it's like more so really getting market intel from my people. Like, is this good? Do you like it? Should I get it? Is it worth it?
Yeah. How
How should I do it? Tell me all the things. And that will be a discussion on here if things don't go my way. So, you know, I think that, that's on there. You know, as a team, we want to do more cutting this year. So we've already planned that out. Business bingo, I want to read 6 self-growth books.
Yep.
Or listen to podcasts, but I'm not putting too many in. I've got some goals for social media, which I think is important so you can track it. And I've got some jobs that I needed to do from last year that I didn't get finished and I need to do it. But when it's here, it's like it's something I work towards. Whereas on my to-do list, I feel overwhelmed by the fact that it's not done. Whereas it's when it's on my bingo list.
Is that because it's in a different format? Like it's all over the place and not in a list where it feels incompleted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when I've achieved it, amazing. It's achieved and done. But when it's in the to-do list every week, it feels incomplete. Like, and it feels like I'm not doing enough of a job. So yeah, now it's on my big business. You know, certain things like I need to unsubscribe. Like I'm very about unsubscribing and decluttering. So that's one of the things that's on my accountability checklist to make sure that I'm decluttering something every day, even if it's just from one email or what I have been doing and taking back, which I don't know if this is what you guys need, but it's something that's big for me. So I'm going to talk about Samara's favorite app.
Oh, Opal.
So I've definitely been taking back much more of my time. So from Friday lunchtime, I allowed myself 5 minutes to post. So I closed it until 6:30.
Yeah.
Posted, got back off, and I didn't actually get back on until last night. So, and then I turned it back off. So I haven't been on it today. So I've now had like 72 hours completely social media free, except for getting on and posting and getting off.
Yeah.
Because we say that we're posting and that's all it's for, but it's so easy to pick up, right? So Friday night, my partner was out and I couldn't get on social media and I was watching TV and I needed something else. So I painted.
Yep.
And it's so much better for my mind. Yesterday, I didn't even think about it, but couldn't get on social media. So I read all day, you know, so I actually gave myself the things that I keep saying I want that social media takes my time up for.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's been huge. When you can't get on it, you don't. And you just don't think about it and you just don't get on.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a present person, of a present mum when I'm off socials. So that's a big focus for me to stay off socials. But yeah, just letting myself get on it for 5 minutes and post and get off. I know that there will be times like today I need to do some stuff on there. I need to do research on what I want to post. I want to get prepped for the week.
Yeah.
But then if I'm prepped, I should be able to get back off.
Yeah.
And the weekend I shouldn't be touching it. I shouldn't be checking my salon DMs. I shouldn't be doing, and if I need to get back on, I can, but I shouldn't need to.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually give myself a break. So that's been a big one. But just different things. I've been talking about forever changing my credit card to get new Qantas points.
Oh, okay.
But I just never do it because it's not a priority. So I put on my bingo card, So, so there's things like that on my bingo card for the business. And then personal. So there's team, there's learning. Personal, I don't even know what I've got on there. I've got my no spends, but I'm doing it in 3-month intervals.
Okay.
Rather than expecting myself to do a year, which with my ADHD, that just doesn't work. A family holiday. I have still got on there that I've had on there for, I reckon, the last 2 years to get my boobs done.
Oh, really?
Again, not implants. I want a reduction.
Yep.
So I just want to remove. And look, I don't think there's not many dudes that listen to this podcast. So like Wilder's nearly 3 and I still have milk. So for me, it's like disconnecting all of the plumbing and just putting just getting a reduction so they're not so as big and it's comfortable. But different things like that. I want to learn to invest. I've got that on this too. I want to use my reformer 40 times this year because I don't use it at all.
That's good.
So things like that. Clear out my photos on my phone.
Yep.
Again, stupid little jobs, but I'll feel like by the end of 2025, if I've done it, I'll be like, yes. And then when you do it on a bingo format, you can be like, achieved. And you can be proud of it.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's what's on there. That's some of the things that are on there. What is your goals this year, Jen?
Look, I'm still working on them. I'm still nutting through. I've done separate sections and I've really sat with a lot of questions and taken the time to journal on it. One of our friends, Ange, who's been on the podcast, had a great set of prompting questions that I have been using. I know because this will come out after our Sherry episode came out, I would like to be a business that is still around in 18 months. So that's genuinely what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just building, right? Everything is just building things up at the moment.
Yeah. It's kind of nice to go into the year. Last year when I did my vision board was very much about certain things that I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted certain, it was still a lot based on feelings, but, I didn't realize how much I wanted to find my person until I found my person, so there was many things on there, whereas this year it's more fluid. The things aren't as concrete, and I really like my life. And
there's things, that's exactly right. There's no, there's some things that I'm still working towards from my goals from last year.
Yeah.
But I've done some of it.
Yes.
But it's a big thing that I'm chipping away at.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
I know that I'm working towards them. But there's nothing that it's I have to do this year. Although one of them is I would really, really like to be able to take my family on a holiday by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That. I would like to start next year on holiday with my family. That is one of my big goals.
Same.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Switching off, getting away, doing something.
I have a specific thing I would like to do with my family this time next year.
What are you doing?
I want to go to Japan to go snowboarding.
Yes, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Because I feel like physically there will come a time when I can't do it, and I might be pushing it even now, but I was a massive snowboarder when I was young. I traveled the world snowboarding. I want to snowboard with my kids while I can.
Okay, so what are you going to do to go towards that?
I'm going to work my ass off and make lots of money.
How much money have you got to put away each week for that?
A lot. I am in the point now where I'm not even at the point where I can do that yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I can't even get to that. Because
business is a baby.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
I don't even have enough figures yet to do my numbers.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, that's one of my big, big goals I would really like to do.
I want to do a cruise.
With your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been on a cruise. It could be fucking horrible and I might hate all of it, but I just figured it's like everyone is on one place.
All
There
the
is
bags are unpacked.
heaps of things to do. There is clubs that people can go in. Someone does my food and it's all inclusive and I can
Where would you go?
Just locally. Like, I don't know whether we'll go out of Australia or not. Depends whether we have passports for everyone, but just like
do one of the, just start with a taster.
yeah, that's
just
what we're
go
doing
like-
with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, that's what we're thinking. Just so because there's so many of us, like, and then it's all inclusive.
yeah,
You have to think about it.
that's a great idea.
So
Oh, I know one big thing that I'm going to do this year.
yeah,
And if I say it on here, gosh, I might actually have to do it. I've done it so far. It's only early days. What are we like? We're very early in January.
it's 13 days into Jan.
I haven't had any alcohol
Oh, okay.
at all.
Okay, so that's so funny that you said that because that's what ran through my head with the cruise, and then I stopped myself saying it. I don't drink, so the cruise would be like
Yeah.
we don't drink, so
But like, I don't really drink anyway.
yeah,
But I have had nothing at all.
yeah, okay,
Even I said on I had a drink on Christmas Day, but then I just felt shit for 3 days. And I was like, I'm not going. And again, I had a drink, I drove home. Like, it's not like I got drunk, but I decided on New Year's Eve, I was like, I'm actually just not going to have anything. I had a cup of tea, and a glass of sparkling water, and it was totally fine. And I woke up on New Year's Day and I was like, yeah, I feel really good. And it doesn't mean that I judge anybody else. Everybody else was drinking. We all had a good time. Like, it was fine. But I'm like, I just might not do that at all now and see how I feel. I'm not like, if I end up having a glass of bubbles or something, I'm going to but I'm sitting with it just to see how long it goes and to see if I want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I have a dry house. My partner's sober.
Yeah.
He's been sober now 4 months, which is amazing. And he feels amazing. Like, he's just everything for him. But
Yeah.
you also have to feel the things more, right? Because my girlfriend and I were discussing this. She's like, it wasn't through the holidays. She's like, it's when I'm back at work, and she's like, and I get to the end of the week and I'm like, I need something to take the edge off, or, so she's like, that's why I drink.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so for us, we don't drink at our house. It's only drinking when I will go out with girlfriends. And if they don't drink, I don't drink. So, but it's very much tuning into like your body and how you actually feel in it.
Exactly.
Not like, and it's the same with all things. So for me, the reason why I have started this, and I feel wiped already, and I know it's going to be a couple of weeks of me feeling really wiped, which is why it's way easier to stop exercising and start eating sugar and live that, because I don't feel as wiped, is my body is so tapped out on all of the levels, right? Because, as much as you try and be good at Christmas time, everything just blows out, especially as a hairdresser, you're just kind of eating, and I did that. Everyone's bringing you treats and you eat the treats. And so for me, even I tried to cold and hot plunge the other day, and my body was just so on edge that even like the cold was so bad that it was like, oh no, I have to actually change what I'm doing, and I actually have to decide to stick to something or not, because my body is feeling it and I'm feeling it. And, there has to be a change. But
I understand completely.
it's so hard to do when you also work. Like it's almost like I'll take 6 months off and I'll just have this full like Baha moment and I'll cleanse.
You
and
so wouldn't.
You can't do any of that anyway. You can't even take a week off. I can't even take a week off to do that. So it's like, implement this into your new life and just deal with being tired for a while.
I think, I know for me, if I was off, I wouldn't get anything done. It's the pressure of having to do something that makes me do more.
Yeah.
It's just how my brain responds.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd have a lot of time to feel really tired and not do anything.
True.
It's, yeah, I don't know. This perception. If I was to go to something like that, it would be like something where they have to make me do things all the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel relaxed at all.
Yeah, true. Me too. Same, actually. Tell
Yeah.
me to do all the healthy things and I'll do them.
Yeah. I want to do some of the freaky stuff this year.
Freaky stuff.
Freaky stuff.
In what context?
It's like there's a lot of freaky contexts that could be. No, I mean
Talk about freaky stuff you want to do this year, Jen.
like health-wise.
Oh,
I want to try some of the radical things.
You're welcome, Tim. Like what?
I still can't remember what it's called.
No.
Not a colonoscopy, although I've got to have one of those too.
Enema. No. Enema.
No. What's the thing?
Everyone's shouting at us on the pod right now. It's this. It's this.
You?
Yeah. So I do coffee. I have not done a coffee enema in so long. I'm actually going to do one.
Yeah, because that used to always bring you lots of energy.
Yeah. Richard just looked at me then and put
was
his
like,
Rich can't tell me he also has a kid. Dad bought us all kids.
Merry Christmas.
Last Christmas coffee enemas.
What is the thing? Oh,
It's not a colonoscopy. It's not an enema, but it's the one where you go in and lie down and they
yeah.
flush you with water.
Yes.
It's deeply uncomfortable. I've done it.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do some weird stuff.
I want to do some cleansers. I've done all of them. I want to stick to something. That's what I would like.
No, I don't want to do any crazy cleansers. Yeah, no, I'm still very much a stick with stuff.
I want to
scenario.
stick to, yeah, but you stick to things. I don't. I try and then go buy and then do all the things and then walk away from it. Like,
but I think it's because you're too hard on yourself. You're like, oh, I didn't do it. Whereas it's just like, oh, I didn't do it. So I'll just start again.
no, I didn't do it. Some friends, I hated that cleanse that I did, the worming cleanse. That was the worst. You have to like take oregano and it's disgusting. I will not do that one again.
Oh, yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's gross. I'll just eat worming chocolate if I feel the need. Everyone's like, weird. I have 5 children. They're gross.
Yeah.
I'm very about eating lots of worming chocolate because I'm very funny about it.
Oh, me too.
Very funny about it.
Yeah.
This is the oddest podcast. But I just want to stick to something this year. I want to do something, stick to it for a certain period of time and see if it helps rather than just the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing to try and feel better. I've listened to a podcast, actually, everyone should listen to it. It's the Dopamine podcast with Diary of a CEO.
Yeah.
He actually said everyone should listen to it about the addiction to dopamine and how we try and get it in different forms, blah, blah, blah. And obviously with ADHD, you don't get as much dopamine. You need hits of it. It's very, very informative. But, yeah, definitely screen time, addictions to screen time and sugar is huge.
Yeah.
So for me, I need to pull mine down so that I can then also do the same with my children. They also like screen time and sugar.
Yes.
So you can rewire their brains while they're young. So it's just those type of things that, you know, and then if I'm not spending the money, I can't be hyper fixated on doing it on stupid shit like, oh, sweet, let's just get a juice cleanse. Like how many juice cleanses have I done?
So many.
And it's not
I always like getting the jars afterwards though. So that was good.
I considered it and then I went, no, I'm not allowed to spend money. I can't do that.
You know, I don't want to do anything crazy like that, but I want to do some try some different strength things, like strength training stuff and just different protocols. I think I'm going to go a little bit more heat rather than cold this year, although I still do like my cold shower every morning.
Yep.
But I'm going to hit the sauna side of it instead. Things like that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know, January always gives you this time to be like, what do I want to change? And I think if we can just keep honing into that same energy throughout the year and go, all right, it's March. What were my figures last year? How do I want my body to feel this month? Rather than it's January, do all the things. It's March, don't do any of the things. So it's how do we, keep that accountability throughout the months, throughout the weeks.
That was my big focus coming through the Christmas and January period this year anyway, was to try and stay consistent the whole time, not really change everything because it's like a holiday season. And bar 2 or 3 days around those heavy celebration days, I pretty much did that, and I feel like I feel a lot better for it.
Yeah. Whereas I'm on the other side where I feel like garbage.
Garbage? Yeah, I felt like garbage yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel garbage.
I did also realize yesterday as I had such a meltdown yesterday. I don't know if it's the full moon, the fact I realized I haven't actually had a holiday for over a year, and just the disruption to routine with the fact that it's been school holidays and stuff. And I had one day off in the last 2 weeks anyway, it was a lot. I had a little bit of a I was such a nightmare yesterday. I don't know how my family put up with me. I was like literally trying to start a fight with everybody.
That's me now with PMS. I've never had it before. And the older you get, apparently the worse it gets.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sounds like that is actually what it was.
So completely mental. I went down the road to get a prescription for my dog, who was also completely mental. And while they were getting the prescription ready, I took my car across to get some fuel, and I came out and I got in the car and I looked in front of me and I got in the back seat of my car. Like, who does that? Who does that? My brain was just
Oh
so
my God, that's
fried.
so funny.
And then I got home and I had taken the wrong script and had to go back again. I was just like, this day just needs to end.
They're the days where God's like, what are you doing? You're not meant to have done any of this. What are you doing?
Well, I tried not to do anything. I did lie on the couch and watch 3 movies, one of which I sent you a photo from. But yeah, I was like, man, girlfriend, you need to take a holiday.
Yeah.
You fried.
Yeah. You need to actually that's what I mean about, I don't feel like I ever actually gave my brain that full brain rest.
Yeah.
And did something so joyous. I need the joyous.
Yeah.
I need to go and it just reminded me that, even if it's for a couple of days, if you're having that break, you need to leave your friggin' house. I gave myself a break on the Monday before I came back to work, and I went to my sister's house. That was my holiday. And it was because I had such bad PMS that everybody was about to burn.
Yeah.
So I went to my sister's house, at which point she cooked me breakfast and made me scones and made me coffee, and I worked from there, and it was a really nice way to do it.
Yeah.
So I think the sum up of this episode is, what are you doing this year with your life? Have you set things in goal, and have you set goals in place, and have you got something tracking to get there?
Yes.
Because it's all good and well to be like, I want these things. Yeah. But because, again, every year I say that I want to feel fitter and better and healthier, and every year it gets to Christmas and I feel fatter and worse.
But you don't set anything to actually do you just fitter is not a goal.
It is.
No, it's not.
I just want to feel fitter and healthier, and then I do
not a goal.
the reverse of that. I'm like eating all of the other night for dinner I had 2 ice blocks. So today is day 1. When this podcast comes out, it should be like day 30 something.
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm still on it.
Watch this space, guys.
Yeah.
We went on a journey. I didn't really know where it was going. It got freaky. But yeah, Happy New Year.
And that's how we start the episode. That's the teaser. All
Bye,
right,
guys.
Bye.
Peace.